Hey everybody, it's Gail, and this is a 1950s halter top I have here on the blocking boards. So this I made out of, I believe it was either 100% wool or a wool blend. I will check and update you when I show you what it looks like once it's on me. But I wanted you to see the pieces of it because it's an interesting build. So the way that it works is you have this front piece here, and then you make these two back pieces, and then you make a whole bunch of join as you go floral motifs for the edging. And so what's going on here is that I finished all the bigger pieces and I got them on the blocking board a couple of days ago, and then I got started on the flowers, and the flowers are now done. And so now it's time to pull everything off of the blocking boards and start sewing it together. A couple of notes. So it comes in a 34 inch and like a 34-36 and I think 36-38 fit, depending on which yarn you use. And I have 37-inch boobs, so I went for the 36-38 made in fingering weight, and I will give you more details on the yarn when I get to a point that I can show you what it looks like on me. You will notice, out of the way here, we've got a point over here, and this is not pointed over here. That's a me problem. That is not a pattern problem. I'm going to figure out how to fix that when I'm doing the single crochet edging it requires. So I'm going to go take all these pins out and start sewing things together. I'll see you in a minute. Hey everybody, I am here with the halter top all put together on the mannequin, and there's a couple of notes I want to make. So first of all, I made the flower chain that turns into the neck strap according to the instructions, and it ended up being too long. So what I did, because you join as you go, so it's one big piece, is I actually ended up just cutting between two of the flowers so I could tie it where it needed to be. And what I'm going to do when I'm done is come in and make sure that it is well attached at this point that I've tied it to, so that I can wear it comfortably and call that good. But before I can do that, I need to do a couple other things. So first of all, this whole thing needs a good steam and iron, especially in the places like under the arm where the flowers are not setting up correctly, but also the sides. And then the other thing I need to do is get some ribbon. I saw the step, I read the step, I forgot the step. So one of the things you need to do as part of the finishing of this is get a length of ribbon. I think it says 3 yards. And you're going to run that length of ribbon along the bottom edge of the halter top all the way around. So hold on. Let me unbutton this. So it's going to go all the way here, and then across, and then all the way over here. And what that's going to do, the reason they're having you do that is so the bottom edge of the halter strap doesn't stretch outside of the shape that you want it to be. Because it does want to stretch, and that can knock it out of sizing, so it doesn't look good on you anymore and doesn't have the silhouette you want. So it doesn't dictate the exact type of ribbon in the pattern, but I'm going to recommend you get gross grain ribbon, because that is usually what people use when there's a call for ribbon to help keep the shape of something, because gross grain ribbon is pretty sturdy. You can also use waist beading, which is just woven fabric you can get at the craft store. I've used it before on a couple of projects. And the job of waist beading is to keep things from pulling. So either of those would work. I would actually say ribbon for this, because waist beading is a little thicker than ribbon, and this is either going to be fingering weight or crochet thread size. If this is fingering weight to take it up a size, so this was probably originally done on size 10 thread, or oh no, wait, yeah, it would be size 10. So it was probably originally done on size 10 thread. I don't remember if the pattern dictates. It's a mail order pattern, and they usually just say X amount of mercerized cotton. But if you're using fingering weight to go up a size, then you're dealing with a size 10 thread, because fingering weight is fairly equivalent to a size 3 thread, and These are the things you learn working a bunch of patterns. So this is the fingering weight and 36-38 chest. I had a mild correction I needed to make. I believe in the last video I said that the options were 34-36 and 36-38. That was incorrect. It's 32-34 if you're working with size 10, and then 36-38 if you're working with fingering weight. I don't know why they don't like the 34-36 boobs. But it's also very easy to adjust this to the size you need it to be, because it's, if you go ahead and you work it in fingering weight, then it's just one pattern per inch. So if you work it in fingering weight and you need the 34-36, drop off one of the patterns. If you need it larger than that, just add a pattern for every inch you need to add to make it fit. The other thing about that is I actually added a couple of inches to the front piece here because I read the pattern wrong. And I thought that the side panels were going to be 90 degrees from what they are, because like they're long and thin, and I thought that they were going to go the other way. And even though there was a schematic that showed them laid out the way that they're on the halter top, my spatial issues will always win. And I realized that after I had made the entire front, and I refused to go back, and I'm like, it'll probably be fine. And it is 100% fine. It's actually a good thing I did that, because the seam here would have hit in a different spot and would have been closer to the front than to the side. And it is, as far as I can tell from the pattern photo, which is a drawing, it is meant to run like right down your side here, and that's where this hits me. The other thing, coming up close, I don't know if you can see it or not, but the seam sticks out a little bit, and that is because it says to do overstitching, which is whip stitch, and then the way it described having the fronts together, I ended up sewing the whip stitch on the front side so that you can see it. Easy fix. You can use whatever stitch you want to join. I just wanted to use the one it told me to, because that's where it gives you an exact explanation. And yeah, that is the story so far. By the way, this took about 1.5 skeins of unicorn. And I'm using the other skeins to make some other stuff right now. This, for example. And you will see those later on. I'm going to get this off the mannequin, get it all ironed and steamed and be ribboned and what have you, and then be back to show you what it looks like on a human body. So I will see you in a few. Hey everybody, I am here on my human body with the halter top on. I don't have it buttoned yet because I did want to show you real quick. The ribbon goes all the way along the bottom, and then it also comes all the way up the flower medallions, and that is how it's going to keep its shape for hopefully a long time to come. And now, to see if I can get it buttoned all by myself, Sean had to help me last time, because what happened is when I put the ribbon in the bottom part here to keep it from stretching, is it turned out I had definitely been stretching it when I put the button on originally, because originally the button was like here, and I had to move it back a couple of inches because, well, that's as far as it'll go now with the ribbon in it. And so I used 1/4 inch ribbon. So the problem, the problem I'm having is that the buttonhole is under the medallions, but the medallions feel like the buttonhole, but I think I just got it. We'll know in a second. There we go. All right, I think I got it. Yay. All right, so here it is on. As you can see, it's hitting me right at my natural waist, which is great. But if you are not super short-waisted like I am, it may be a little higher than you want. It may be running up a little higher than you want. It is very easy to just add more rows. So basically you work this front piece as a rectangle until you start the decreases for the chest area. And so just keep working it up. You know, you can just work it up to get it as long as you want. And this stitch pattern, by the way, is alternating rows of double crochet shells and then backstitch single crochet, and that's where the ridge comes from. It's really nice. I have not actually finished neatening up the tie, but I think actually I sewed it where I thought I needed it, and I think I'm actually going to go one more, so it's hanging just a little further down, and I think that'll get me to hit it exactly how the pattern has it, because the pattern has it just a little bit lower. Not much though. We did not have cleavage in the 50s. It's very important. Although if you want to have cleavage in it, do it. It's fun. But yeah, so by the way, for reference, I have a 33-inch waist, and I made this 2 size with the exception of I made this an inch wider. But as you can see, it's fitting really well, and there is overlap on purpose. So, you know, it's overlapping the way that it's supposed to. It's very comfortable, truly. Like, it's very, very comfortable. The one thing I will note, I did iron it like I said I was going to do, and I'm still having, my flowers still are not flat, so I think I'm gonna have to really get in there with the starch to get them to lay perfectly flat. And I don't know, I might not actually care enough, quite frankly. Like, it's very, very cute. And if you're close enough that you can see under my arm that it's folded over, you're probably standing too close to me. So, but yeah, I'm very happy with it. It's such a great little piece. It's a piece that you look at and you know it's a classic. You've seen it 100 times. And I have plenty of high-waisted skirts to wear with it because, again, I make a lot of my own and I know where my waist is. So I can do, you know, the pencil skirt and then the halter top, have a very classic look. Last thing before I let you go, because I mentioned it in the very first part of the video, you will notice I did manage to sneak my mistake kind of hidden away now. So this is what it's supposed to look like. You're supposed to end on the point at the top of the cup. And I screwed it up here, but because of how you attach the flower pieces once you have them, it really does, it was pretty easy to sort of hide it. So I've got a little bit of extra over here, but it's not too bad. Yeah, I love this. I think I might actually go back and make it like in cotton or linen at some point, because this is wool. And wool is temperature regulating, so you should be able to wear it year round, but I don't temperature regulate well, which I've mentioned before. So, I would prefer to also have a version that I could wear in the summer that is going to be very breathable in the way that you need clothes to be in the summer if you don't temperature regulate. So yeah, I think we'll call it good at that. No pattern mistakes that I found. I really enjoyed this one. It was nice and easy in terms of just, it's a very repeatable stitch pattern. The flowers are very easy to make and join, and I will have a link to the pattern down in the basement. As always, if I cannot find where I originally bought it from, I will just upload it for you to grab off my website, so you will have access to it in some way. And also, if you're somebody who's watched a lot of my videos and ever catch a dead link on one of my descriptions of a pattern, just let me know, because people leave Etsy for lots of reasons, and so it's always good to know when I need to go in and update a description so that you still have access to the pattern. Yeah, okay. As always, if you enjoy what I do here, please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, all of that fun stuff, and I will see you when I see you.